Today I have like a question from Tony. Tony is asking, what can we do to continue training as we get older? And he specifically says if we are not as, we are a little bit older, we are slower, we are less bendy. So Tony, thanks for the question. I think it's very interesting to see ourselves continue evolving in jiu-jitsu while we are getting older. Such a unique process, right? What we thought we could do, at least for myself, what I thought I could do at age of 20, maybe I was able partially to do it at age of 30. Now I'm in my 40s. I definitely cannot do the things that I was able to do back then in my 20s, some of the things. So it's like we go through this evolution. Our bodies obviously require some wear and tear, and things are not as easy to perform. So what can we focus on? How can we continue growing Jiu-Jitsu? And I might be sounding like an old broken record here, but back to fundamentals. It really is really critical to, one, understand how Jiu-Jitsu works. So remember that Jiu-Jitsu is a mental stimulation as much, if not more, than a physical stimulation. Now, physical component, our bodies touch. This is a physical contact sport, physical activity. So it's very important to acknowledge them and respect that. So one, be selective who you train with. Come on, guys, be selective. If you are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and you are training, maybe going with somebody who has a month or 2 or 3 of experience and has a lot of energy in their 20s, it might not be a good idea. And it's not because that person will intentionally hurt you. I truly believe, at least in my academy, we're not trying to intentionally hurt each other. But accidents happen. Accidents often happen not because we are viciously trying to do something to our partner, but because we have less control and we are often very excited about what we are trying to do, and there's a lot of uncontrolled motions. So pick your partner. Really, really important. Don't be afraid to say no to somebody who is asking you. 2, slow things down. There's no reason to hustle. There's no reason to plow through it. There's no reason to push yourself to pass the limit, and you know where your limit is. So 1, pick your partners. 2, know your limit, and there's no reason to press past it. Be aware of what is aching, what is hurting. All these things are important. But when it comes to jiu-jitsu itself, once we get older, I think what is really important is to identify what motions and what techniques, what concepts work well for us. And sometimes there's a variety of these very motion-driven, very dynamic technique and systems in Jiu-Jitsu, and those might not be really working for you. In the flip side, there's plenty of techniques and systems and concepts which work very well for individuals who are not as powerful, who are not as flexible, but we can still use leverage. We can still use gravity to our advantage. And we can still effectively train and execute Jiu-Jitsu despite the limitations. Over 20 plus years being on the mats, I have encountered and I had privilege to work and meet individuals with limitations, body limitations, mental limitations, right? All that is, for most of us, those would be obstacles. For them, it's their life. And they are fully able to execute, practice, train, and embrace Jiu-Jitsu for what it is. So, as you get older, be smart about it. Know where your limits are. Pick your partner smart. Be consistent with your training. Stretch, warm up, cool down. All these things are extremely, extremely important. But when it comes to Jiu-Jitsu, really educate yourself how things work, what works for you particularly. Remove the things that are just against your body motions, and continue working on it. Don't forget, always talk to your instructors, whoever they are, no matter what they do. They are there to help you. I'm pretty confident if you bring up these concerns to your instructors, to your coaches, They'll be able to help you, guide you, set you to success, set you to succeed, and the path to the success, to the next belt, to the black belt eventually, will be right in front of you. See you on the mat.